Hello friend, welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. I have today in shop this beautiful 2014 Toyota Corolla with approximately 78,000 miles on the odometer. I recently did a very detailed inspection on her because she got a couple months ago new owner. Everything was flawless. Everything looked brand new. There are area of the engine which has that silver color like it just left the factory. And there was only one spot of the oil seepage. Not really oil leak, but a seepage. And if you know these 4 cylinders to the RFE, you know already what I'm talking about. It's a slow oil seepage from timing chain tensioner gasket. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Since she's still on the floor, on the ground, we will look from here. This is the first spot where you can see it. Let there be a light, please. Boom. It's a little bit too much, but the camcorder will adjust. Do you see that? What I was meaning with the engine color, the silver, it looks brand new, but here is that seepage. Right here, somebody wiped it, maybe I did wipe it. On that inspection, you see this oil, that's no good, we want to get rid of it. But you see just the side of the engine block, you don't see really the tensioner. Let's lift her up and look from underneath. And coming from the back of the vehicle towards to the front, let's see how I can show it. If you look all the way there, we were just standing in that opening there. This is the timing chain tensioner. It's installed on 2 studs, which means 2 nuts are holding it in the place. And you see that support for that wire. And it's completely up to you if you attack this issue from above. Because believe it or not, on this model there's actually space to reach there. If you look up there, you can see it. And if you look up here, there's a huge opening from underneath. So I will say if you don't have a lift, you can go from above, there's space between the firewall, there's plenty of space. Or I can try maybe today, do it from underneath. And if I want to film this procedure for you, I don't think I have even any choices. I don't think there's any space from above for my camcorder to film it for you at all. You will be just looking on my hand disappearing somewhere behind the corner of the engine block or timing chain cover, whatever the camcorder will be. This is not uncommon, it's the opposite. We said this one has 78,000 miles. It's 2014, now it's 2021, so it's a 7-year-old vehicle. As you saw, the engine and everything looks in certain areas pristine and almost like new. So it's a very rare little seepage. Elsewhere on the engine you will not find any oil. Now in this case the gasket will be flat, but on older vehicles like Matrixes, for example, the O-ring was actually a rubber round O-ring. That was the gasket. So always follow with your dealer. They will get you the right part for your application for your vehicle. As you will expect by the size and common sense, these 2 nuts are 10 millimeters. And they won't be ever over tight, there shouldn't be any problem to crack them open. This is a small two studs with two small nuts. I don't know what's the torque on it. Don't expect me giving that to you. But again, common sense. And now, when you are loosening the other one, it will not go by the hand because that tensioner is actually pushing out. The tensioner spring or the pressure on it is pushing the tensioner out. And you can see in this exact application we have some oil coming out. Sometimes there's nothing, and sometimes there is a little bit oil coming out. So get ready, you don't want to make a crazy mess. Prepare yourself for that. That little bit of oil will be lost. And you don't want to have it all over. It's oh yeah, did you see? You see, if I pause the camcorder, you will never see it. How it pushed itself out. Awesome. Anytime you do the work like this, general rule is observe the direction of the parts. And here you hopefully can see the part coming out. And I have another show prepared for you right here. I'm trying to show everything with the perfect lighting. Hopefully that is very clear to you. So that's that tensioner, hydraulic tensioner assembly. Now here is the gasket which failed, and we have a new one from Toyota. So I will back a little bit away to show you the new part. Here are the new numbers, or here Toyota. So let's continue with removal of that old gasket. It's pretty tight glued to the whole unit. So let's try to use a scraper and separate it from the tensioner. I don't want to cut myself. Yeah. That's stuck pretty tight. Here I was able to get underneath it. Carefully, without damaging anything, carefully separate it from that hydraulic tensioner assembly. Can you still see it nicely? Oh yeah, you can. Very good. Sometimes they just pop off. I don't know why. This one is kind of like a glued to it. But it's all about the patience. So we did another step. We disconnected the old gasket from this unit. And I'm just getting in these awkward positions, but it's for you to understand how it works and show you how to set this unit for install. So hopefully you see this ratcheting system, and hopefully right now you see here that hook which will be grabbing on this part. Push this. This is a hydraulic piston basically. It will allow me to set it all the way in. It will start puking the oil. It's normal because it's hydraulic unit. You heard it, you saw it. And now I need to engage this little hook. It needs, oh, you see how the oil is slippery, obviously. And I will continue with wiping it clean and dry. I'm going to slip on that new gasket. Here we go. And now I am ready to install it back. And if you remember correctly, the whole thing is installed in this position. Now, you know I normally encourage you to do your own work, to do your own maintenance, but this might be exception. This will be totally up to you how you feel about this procedure. This procedure might be exception from what I normally say on this channel. So I was finally able to catch those nuts there, and now I will carefully and gradually, looking at it from here, I will simultaneously, without just doing only one nut, I will carefully start putting the whole tensioner assembly in the place. I'm gonna have a equal pressure on both of those nuts, so that tells me I'm putting it nicely straight, but it definitely needs to be tight. After that we will start clean up and do one more super important step of setting this unit. Now comes very important part of this job. You remember we used that hook to hold that hydraulic unit down. Now we need to release that hook. That hydraulic unit needs to extend and hit that chain tensioner, put the pressure back on it. Only after that we are able to start it. So let's do that right now. And how do you release that tensioner? Well, it's by turning the engine. So the main crank bolt, it's 19 millimeter. And normally when we work on these engines, we only turn them clockwise. Which means if you look on the bolt, clockwise means this way. It goes from left to right. In this case, I will be going counterclockwise, which means like this way. This is the counterclockwise. Very carefully, slowly, when in small increments, and I will listen for that audible click of the release of that tensioner unit. So let's go and do that. I'll be completely quiet so you can hear it with me. So that was just ratchet clicking. I have it ready for a very slow counterclockwise turn. Did you hear that? That little click, that meant that that hook which was holding slipped off, released the tension. I don't need to turn the engine anymore counterclockwise. For my own peace of mind that I don't destroy it on startup, I will turn my ratchet and actually start turning it clockwise. At least few rotations, so I know there will be no internal damage on the startup. And for myself, I'm going back to clean, since the oil spill and all that stuff was the reason. The leakage, seepage was the reason. I want to have it as clean as possible for the customer. So I will say we are finally ready for the startup, and we will confirm that we did a good job. 78,000 miles, and let's see what will happen. Oh yeah, it runs again like a Swiss watch. I hope you find this video informative, and if you don't want to miss the future ones, make sure you are subscribed. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.